Hello.
Hey,
Yeah, I think it's your internet.
no. So
Mhm.
Instagram has this thing where you can only do a live for 1 hour, and then it like cuts you off. I didn't even know we were talking for an hour
I
already.
have no idea. Yeah, that was a lot of talking, but good. Yeah.
Oh, geez. I feel so bad because now I lost the questions, like on how to. But I really wanted to hear the last bit of what you were sharing because it aligns so much with everything that I've honestly like been feeling about those differences being really like, that divide and conquer strategy, like to say the least, like that is how it's been weaponized. And I feel like we've definitely internalized that when it comes to how we show up for one another as well, too, right? And so
Yeah.
what does it even mean to be Sudanese right now?
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
No, so this is what what I was saying was leading up to this is, and that is like these differences throughout our modern or even ancient history have been weaponized against us in a way. So when you really look at it, I come from a certain background, and I think I am the true Sudanese. And then that person comes from a certain background or a certain location, and he thinks he's the real Sudanese, and she thinks she's the actual
Mm,
owner of
mm,
the land and the da
mhm.
da da da. And when you plant that seed over decades and decades and decades, when you treat this person different from that person, and when I'm in power, all of the people of my tribe or of my blah 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 are going to be the ones in power. And
Mhm.
when
That was
he's in
literally what
power,
Bashir
he's
did,
in,
right? Like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, but it wasn't just him.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was even before him.
Hmm.
It was even look after the look. We're gonna sit down and pretend that we had one of the greatest revolutions in human history. In terms of the movement, I would say it's up there.
Hmm.
It brought people from very different backgrounds, blah, 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 together in terms of the movement itself. It was
Hmm.
there. But in terms of the outcome is
Mm.
elites being in power and then their cousins and then their distant relatives and then even if it wasn't done like in the same stupid way that al-Bashir was doing, for example, "Oh, I'm gonna bring my cousin and make him a minister, but I'm gonna like put you in a committee that will, like be in charge of tracking down all the laundered money, and then you will be able to launder that money. Or I'm going to put you in charge of a company that is meant to, for example, extract and sell
Gold or
coal
whatever. Yeah.
or gold or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And so that is what it is.
Mhm.
The fact that we even like the fact that the agreement itself states that people from this Haraka Musallaha, this armed force or this armed group, they are entitled to two seats, two ministerial seats, or like people from this, you're technically doing the same thing, if not even
Yeah.
dumber. Like at least back then, the fact that you're empowering one person and one person has the power to just give it away, that in
Is a
itself creates stability.
problem. Yeah. Mm.
No, no, it's a problem, but it creates stability.
Yeah.
Yeah, when the power is insignificant and everyone has control of some degree of power and it's divided among so many random people that with different agendas,
Mm.
with different da, 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 that no one chose. Literally, no one chose any of these people. No one chose Al Burhan, no one chose Hamid, no one had any say in even the civilians in that sovereignty council.
Mm-hmm.
So all of these people are there for their own
Their own
motives
reason. Yeah.
and for their own reasons, and they're serving their own reasons, and they're selling us as poor Sudanese people, like here, take
Mm.
like we're gonna bring you democracy. Democracy is real, like yeah, go do your thing. We're gonna be a democratic country. We're working towards transition, like transition to like
That
what
was
what
the, yani, wallahi, I can't even tell you when I heard that
yeah
that was what was going on. I was just like, why?
yeah
Why? Like, what is the purpose other than leaving more opportunities.
Yeah. Yeah.
And look at what happened.
Yeah.
Right?
And I'm telling you, and it will always be the case. There will always be people who want to keep the majority of the people either silent or ignorant or that for their own reasons, and it makes sense to them because it's much easier to control that type of person than to control someone who spent a lot of their life um, learning or being educated or like having, for example, some sort of autonomy when it comes to thought. If you go back to the history in Sudan and also look at, for example, during Nigeria and stuff, how do people vote? How do you get people to come back and do the voting? You simply do that by giving them meat or giving them like rice and oil and
Vote
stuff
for
like that.
me. Yeah.
So again, on a very tiny level, that is how things are, like in Sudan. Like, so no wonder that kind of person is just gonna follow the same affiliation that led them to the voting box. Okay, you're either is my distant, like Hamid is my cousin. It's okay, I'm gonna be on his side. Burhan is, from my area, and I prefer like people from my area because the other people are like you.
We
So
don't
I'm
know what's
gonna
going on
side,
there.
yeah. So I'm gonna side with Al Burhan, and so on and so on. And that's just how Sudan has been. And until people are ready to grow up and sit down together, and even the diaspora themselves, as long as
I'm working
everyone is
on the
trying,
Canadian diaspora. I'll tell you
look,
that. I'm working
look,
on them. I'm
look, look,
trying.
look.
I'm really
Yeah,
trying.
look. As long as everyone is trying to be cool,
Yeah.
nothing is gonna change. As long as every single individual wants to do their own thing and wants to be the star of their own show and wants to be the picture, the face of Sudan to whoever they are talking
Mm,
to, nothing is ever gonna change.
yeah.
You know, like it has to come from like people need to unite. This is our goal. We want to provide this, or we want to fix this, or we want to da da da. Okay, unless you do that and everyone is moving towards that, either you're collecting funds,
Hmm.
either you're doing this, either you're doing that, nothing's ever going to change,
I mean, yeah.
and nothing is ever going to get better, and we're going to be repeating the same cycle because all of the efforts are going to be too divided to make any difference. If you on your own decide to go buy medical supplies, you don't know how much, you don't know the process, you don't
Mhm.
know the logistics, you're going to go, you're going to buy, you're going to spend probably what could have bought us 4 or 5 different, for example, devices. If you want to give food and you decide to go do it on your own because, yeah, I'm cool, I want to help. At this point, it's not about the individual effort, it's more about the collective effort.
Mhm.
And that is sadly what's lacking from the diaspora.
Yeah.
Everyone is trying to do their own thing, and everyone is trying to be the star of the show, and everyone is trying to make videos, and everyone is trying to talk about it. And yeah, will get us nowhere. It's
I
not raising awareness
have
in a significant way.
oh,
It's not raising
100%.
funds in a significant way. It's not making a difference on the ground in a significant way. So yeah, I think people
What are we
just need to
doing?
grow up,
Yes.
you know?
Wallahi, honestly. And you just said so many like beautiful, profound things that I really wish could be just embodied within the community here, especially because I'll tell you, it really is a challenge. And
Yeah,
until we start really pushing back and challenging, like, what does it even mean to be Sudanese? And how do we even start looking at one another in a way that puts the entire community up? We're all going to just be taking turns on who's the most down because
yeah,
it's literally just kind of like what happens. Like this tribe gets a little bit this time, then the next tribe gets a little bit this time. Like we're just going to keep like taking turns,
well,
reminding me a little bit of Game of Thrones, to be honest. So it's just like everyone trying to like fight for that throne, trying to fight for that seat,
yeah,
and little by little, each one just keeps getting weaker. Each one just keeps losing more of itself until at the end there's going to be nothing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we are, in fact, like really destroying ourselves by doing things this way, especially when we are already surrounded by so many systems who are looking to destroy us. Why are we making it easier for them?
Yeah, and look, we need to be realistic. We need to also like acknowledge our own shortcomings as people and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the hard
Yeah.
part. Like, I think for me, Sudanese people or anyone else is more than happy to blame a conspiracy
Mm.
or something, even though might be even true. Like, it might
But
be
there's
actually
how you
happening.
respond to it, but it's also
Yeah,
what you do with it, right? Like there's
exactly.
still that other part.
Exactly. Like the reaction is always
Mhm.
wrong. No one wants to do anything about it. Everyone wants to just sit down and
Yeah.
complain. We're being conspired against by this group of people. But okay, what are you doing to alleviate for example, the like the suffering that your people are going through or that
Mm-hmm.
you are experiencing on a certain level or mentally you can be experiencing that mentally, you can be experiencing it emotionally, physically, like you're there, you're unable to. So what are you going to do as
Exactly.
someone who is in a privileged location in a privileged like situation in your community? What are you going to do? Like, are you
Mm-hmm.
just going to sit down and pretend that everything's all right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Keep doing that. Yeah,
Yeah.
keep
I'm
keep.
gonna be very real with you. Like today is the gala, and the
Yeah,
amount of work and the amount
yeah,
of back and forth that I had to go with the diaspora here to get people to come together and collaborate
yeah.
was not easy.
Hmm.
Was not easy.
Yeah, probably.
And everybody wants their name on everything.
Of course.
Everybody wants to be,
Branding. Come on.
yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
oh, everybody wants to talk now. Everybody wants to this now. Everybody wants to do all of that now. And for what? Like this ego that we're all carrying. Like when I first came to Canada, there were so few Sudanese community members that like every weekend, like we used to go with my family and just like drive to different cities just
Yeah,
so we can like see all of the different community members. And now each one has become Nas Hamilton, Nas Toronto, Nas Scarborough, Nas this, Nas this, and none of them know what the other person is doing. Because as
yeah,
soon as there was
nice.
enough of them, they just went,
Yeah,
it was,
and that is, I think, then if you think about it that way, then that is the Sudani way.
yeah.
No matter what setting they're in, this is what they revert back to, and unless
Oh, I think I lost you. Question, can everybody see me? Because I don't know. Is it just mine? Is he frozen or am I frozen? Oh, he's pausing. Okay, thank you. I was just like I can stay here and be cute. Let's see if he gets back. Thank you, everyone. He's gone. Okay, we can. Okay, perfect. Well, I'm glad y'all can see me, but not him. Okay, we'll give him like another minute. And if, so just so you know, everyone, like he's out over in Kenya because he's working. He's trying to be like close to the ground. Oh no, he left, so maybe he'll come back. Yeah, so he is in East Africa right now, just so that way he could be close to everything without being all the way in it. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Thank you, Jen. Ah, I sent a request. Let's see. There we go. Accept. Yeah, thank you, everyone. There we go.
Uh, do you hear me?
I hear you now. Yes, perfect.
Perfect. Okay, that was awkward.
All
Yeah,
good. I was
yeah,
like, am I talking to myself?
yeah. Thanks. Not much. Yeah. Uh, what were we talking about?
I can't even
We spoke about some.
remember. I got so
Yeah, we spoke about
distracted.
so many things. Yeah.
I know.
But yeah,
Okay, so I do want to wrap things up because I know it's late where you are, and I got a gala to start getting ready for.
mhm.
But I want to close off with really, I'm going to leave it up to you, but in terms of Philahar, in terms of the need, in terms of how people can support, in terms of how people can show up, what do you want to share?
Okay, so overall, in Filahat at the moment, we are working on so many things. We're focusing on the following. So whenever you are thinking about helping or thinking about donating, your money is gonna be going towards one of these things. We're providing medical supplies to hospitals across Sudan, in 5 states, more than 10 hospitals. We are providing monitors, we're providing ventilators, we're providing all different types of equipments to hospitals in River Nile State, in Northern State, in Port Sudan, soon in Kassala, previously in Al Jazeera, currently in Khartoum. Um, we are also providing antivenoms across the River Nile State, which are really cheap, and the vial is really cheap, and it helps out really, really greatly. You're saving someone's life essentially with a single vial. We are also working on housing more than 60 families in Egypt that have been kicked out of their homes, and have been literally in really, really dire situations. So we're also providing housing for some of them, and we're looking to expand to include the rest. We're also we are working on collecting enough funds to also start supporting the Mygoma orphanage in Port Sudan specifically in a sustainable way. We provide support, but it's sporadic and it depends on the amount of funding. But we're also looking to provide sustainable, continuous monthly amount to at least like ensure that the basics are covered uh, for the orphanage, and a lot more tiny little activities. We're providing, for example, some financial support to some families that are in Umdurman still. Now that a lot of the area is considered relatively safe, we're trying to make sure that they have access to food, they have access to
Mm,
the market and the goods that they need, and so on and so forth. The activities that we do, as I said earlier, it ranges and it depends on the most pressing need at any given point in time. The projects that we're the overall project that we're working on is an emergency response fund. And the idea behind it is what's really important right now is what's going to get the money right now, with a very, very big emphasis on medical supplies, on antivenoms, and, you know, issues as they come, let's call them,
mm,
you know. But we're trying to do emergency response differently, more
mm,
effectively, and in a way that makes more sense to the people that are receiving it than to the random people that are going to be uh, enjoying
mm,
enjoying the results of it at a later point. So yeah, that's in a nutshell how we are operating right now, what we're trying to focus on, and yeah, that's about that, I think.
beautiful. Mashallah, mashallah, mashallah.
Yeah.
I can't, um, I can't thank you enough for everything that you're
Oh,
doing. Like,
our duty.
yeah. And one of the things that even like here that we hear is just like, how do you not burn out? How do you not give up hope?
Mhm.
How do you not fall into despair? And I think every time that I either connect with you or with anyone else who's like on the ground and really doing the work, I feel like despair and losing hope would be such like a disrespect to everything you're doing
Yeah.
and everything that the people you're serving need. And so like thank you for being like those anchors of reminding us that we can do these things. We
Yeah.
just need to come together and slow down for them. But you're a pillar for doing that. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
No, no, I'm honestly glad I can do my part, and I know for a lot of diaspora, especially, it's really in a way I feel bad for a lot of people because it's sort of a loss, like a loss of identity as
Mm,
well. Like I'm trying to do something, but I'm not really feeling connected, and so on and so forth. And then so I just want everyone who's outside Sudan to know that they can make a difference.
mm-hmm,
Not only by donating, you can talk about Sudan, you can do your tiny little things and just raise awareness about what's going on because the world is silent and no one knows. And at the same time, just know that like you're Sudani, own it, and make sure that you also reflect that in your communities and in your societies, and make sure that that is not something that you're ashamed of. It's not something that you're trying to hide. It's not something that you're trying to run away from. It is who you are. And the
mm-hmm,
more you run away from it, the more you're going to feel alienated, the more you're going to feel
mm-hmm.
distant, the more you're going to be in pain because of that. So own your let's call it Sudanism or whatever. And yeah, talk about Sudan, keep it alive. Don't just hashtag, but also talk, spread awareness, donate if you can. If you can't, you know,
Use your resources in other
الكلمة
ways. Yeah.
yeah, الكلمة الطيبة صدقة صح?
Well,
Talk
yeah.
talk well
Mm-hmm.
about Sudan, and
Yeah.
that's more than enough, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, if anything, thank you as well, and everyone who is here, and everyone who's interested, and everyone who has been supporting us and has been, you know, uh, allowing us to do the work that we do. Our work is not meaningful just to us, but um, it's also meaningful to those who receive it. It's also meaningful to those who allow it to happen. So I just also want you to know if you have been donating that your donations make a difference, whether it's to
Mm-hmm.
Philahat or to whoever the hell you want to donate to. And yeah, thank you again for hosting us today. Thank you
Yeah.
for the gala. Thank you for all the efforts that you're also doing. And
No, and Jazakallah khair.
yeah,
Anything for Sudan. And I'll once we like have the funds and everything, I'll be sending those over to you. And then I'm gonna be bugging you for updates and I want to see where everything is going because I
trust me,
think yeah,
we
I think
are
one of the
we are
missing
the most annoying actor on the ground, so
perfect,
you're not
perfect,
gonna
yeah.
annoy us, trust me.
No, no,
Mm,
no. It's perfect.
yeah,
But yeah, I really want to make sure that people are seeing the work
yeah,
being done
yeah,
because I feel like that part's also missing too.
yeah,
And sometimes it's just like this very like distant thing. So we'll definitely do a follow up. I'll bug you
yeah.
for that and update everyone so that way they
Perfect.
can, yeah, know that stuff is happening.
Perfect.
Yeah. Good.
Perfect.
Jazakallah khair.
Thank
We will talk
you.
soon.
Yep.
Thank you. Have a good
Looking
one.
forward to that.
Yes.
You too.
Okay.
See you,
Bye,
everyone.
everyone.
Peace out.